What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here, coming out today with a requested video from Dark84 who requested to see my top 10 pendulums. So I wanted to do a top 10 video because I've noticed a lot of members of Team Sorcerers have been doing top 10 videos recently, so I kind of wanted to get in on the fun. Now guys, I will point out that my top 10 choices are based on things I have done with these cards. It's not really based on what the card itself does. Though I suppose what the card does is part of the reason I've been playing it, so... But it's more about what I did with it. So starting in at number 10, before I reveal this first one, guys, I really tried not to choose any pendulums that were on the ban list, but honestly, this card was so good in the format when I played it. Everyone was using the format, it's just that good, so I had to put it on this list. If you guys haven't guessed what it is, it's probably the most love-hate pendulum card of all time, Magispector Unicorn Kieran. This card is hated by every single player that had it used against them, but it's absolutely loved by the pendulum community. Guys, I can't help it. It was just so fun against your opponent when I was using this back when we were playing Pendulum Magician back in the day. Pendulum summon this with Joker, you just go, effect, bounce Joker, bounce something else, then you can normal summon Joker again. It was just so great as a form of disruption and recycling things. You can't deny that I liked it that much. Additionally, in my Pendulum Magician build, it was level 6 because I was playing Utopia Beyond, because you summon Utopia Beyond against your opponent with 2 monsters on board while you've got Odas Pendulum Dragon. You just go smack with Beyond for 3k, smack with Oddis Pendulum for 5k, and boom, you've just got game. So yeah. But guys, I really tried not to pick a banned card onto my list, but there just wasn't really any specific pendulum that I liked a bit more than this. That is the only banned pendulum in this list. Next, number 9 is Mythical Beastmaster Cerberus. So this is one of my favorites because of something I did back in the day when I was playing pure Mythical Beast. It was a battle royale with some of the guys from my locals. I think Dark Magician might remember this moment. I decided to do something really funny with my Mythical Beast build because I knew we were playing a royale. So back then, guys, I was just playing like a pure Mythical Beast. This was before Endemium got released, so we were just like a very spell counter heavy format, but it was a spell counter heavy deck that didn't really focus on pendulum summoning. And so I was playing like the equip spell with Mythical Beast, which is Power of the Guardians, which states the equipped monster gains when an attack is declared involving the equipped monster. Put a spell counter on this card. The equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense for each spell counter on this card. I thought, well, it's alright, but you kind of need to be able to attack a lot with it to do so. And then I thought to myself, what's a card that would let a Mythical Beast attack a lot? Diffusion Wave Motion. And since when we play a Battle Royale, it's like multiple players, usually we have like 6 people in a Battle Royale. So I just thought to myself, you know what, this could be very interesting in a Battle Royale. I'm going to try it. And so I did. I waited for the perfect moment in the royale. I'm like, okay, everyone's got a good couple of monsters. Also waiting for like one monster on field with a decent attack stat that I can banish with Cerberus to gain the points. I'm like, that's it. Set everything up. And then when the time was right, I was just like, summon Cerberus, equip with Power of the Guardians, activate Diffusion Wave Motion to give it a multi-attacking effect. Effect of Cerberus, remove 4 spell counters, banish the monster, regain its attack. I think the monster I banished had about approximately 2400, so I was starting with a 5200 Master Cerberus that was going to gain 500 attack every time it attacked. And so it just kept getting stronger with every player I was attacking, and then I think I basically just proceeded to wipe everyone out. God, that was so much fun. And that's why Master Cerberus is on this list. Next, number 8. This is something from back when I was playing back in my Oddis days. It's Performer Pal Swing Cobra. I've had so much fun. I had so much fun playing this card when the Yuya starter deck came out. I think that was in 2016. Yeah, 2016 was when that came out. So it released some like new support for the Performance Pal engine. It's just kind of, I think that was around the point I stopped playing like the full Magician engine and moved into a Performance Pal engine, because I think the deck came out shortly after the time when Joker first got hit to 1, and yeah, it was Joker, Wisdom Eye, and Pendulum Core all got hit to 1. Monkey Board was at 1. Monkey Board was at 1 at the time, but it had to be. So I went into a more Perform Pal style engine, because when the Star Set came out, it was like, okay, this is actually some pretty decent support. I'm going to give this stuff a try. And so I started so yeah, that was pretty fun to do. But the main reason Swing Cobra is on this list is because it's something I did during a tournament match. So during that format, guys, BA was still absolutely huge. So lots of people, including myself, were playing Ojama Trio in the side to main deck to just screw over BA players. So one of the things I did to my opponent was activate Ojama Trio to put 3 on their board so they couldn't do BA plays. It was also really good because also at the time Psy-Frames had started becoming a thing as a pure deck, so it stopped Psy-Frames from being able to do anything. But naturally, everyone knows the weakness with Ojama tokens is your opponent's just gonna crash it for the damage. But however, they're not going to do that if you're playing like a Performance Pal Oddis strategy. Because essentially what I did to my opponents, guys, was I dropped the Ojama Trio on them, had 3 monsters on my field for my Pendulum Summon, which were Swing Cobra, Perform Pal Fireflux, and Oddis Pendulum Dragon. So I had the Fireflux in defense, Swing Cobra on the offense, and Oddis Pendulum Dragon also on the offense. And because we had the Perform Pal Dramatic Theatre field spell, like all the monsters on my field gained 200 for each different type, so I had 3 types, so it was a 600 buff. So each turn I was just like swing directly with Swing Cobra, and because of its effect it goes into defense afterwards, meaning my opponent can't just easily crash an Ojama token into one of it. But naturally I did leave something for them to crash it into, which was the Oddis Pendulum Dragon, simply because if they want to crash it, they're going to take a lot of damage and probably going to kill themselves before they get rid of all 3 Ojama tokens. So yeah, that was an absolute fun thing to do to my opponent. It was basically a small 900 beat every turn, but after a few turns, my opponent's like, okay, I am not getting around this, I'm going to scoop and go to the next game. Then I pretty much basically proceeded to do the same thing in the following game. That was so fun to do to my opponent. And that's why Swing Cobra's on this list. And so, next, number 7. Some of you might have been expecting this card to be a little bit higher on the list, but number 7 is Oddis Pendulum Dragon. So Pendulum Dragon, the only reason he's not higher on this list is because, despite the fact I've done a lot of great things with Pendulum Dragon, but I've just got better memories with some pendulums that I've done as opposed to with Oddis. I've done a lot with Oddis, but Oddis doesn't do but I've never really had one specific moment with Oddis Pendulum Dragon that was so great. I mean, there was during a tournament that I had when Lynx first started, but that was more of something I did with Starving Venom. For those wondering what happened, so Max C was still legal. I opened Max C going first. Yes, kind of broken completely. So my opponent does the effect of Black Green Gofu, special summons it. I drop Max C. They got their 2. I drop the Max C. They drop the 2 tokens. I got a draw, and because naturally they didn't want to get too much extension out of it, they just passed their turn. Unfortunately, I had Oddis Pendulum Dragon, a way to Pendulum Summon, and 2 dogs on the field. So what do, guys? Pendulum Summon the Pendulum Dragon, summon the 2 dogs, tribute them off the Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom, activate Starving Venom's effect to copy Oddis Pendulum Dragon's effect. So now the 2 monsters on my field can do double piercing, and then I'll just smack the game. God, which was absolutely just amazingly fun. I think this was also during the first tournament of when we did Lynx. That was a problem. And that was also like, I think, one of the first tournaments I went undefeated and came first place. So yeah, that was really fun. Next, number 6, sticking with the Oddeye. One of the few Oddeyes monsters I like a bit more than Pendulum Dragon is Phantom Dragon. So Phantom I really got into because I love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 manga. I thought that was really interesting. Phantom was such a cool card in it, and when it got printed, I'm like reading it over and I'm like, oh my god, this thing's absolutely insane. Like, I love both of his effects. The Pendulum effect to give something a buff when it battles something, and then also its monster effect. If it's Pendulum summon that inflicts damage, you can burn your opponent for 1200 multiplied by the number of Oddis cards in your Pendulum zone, which typically you have 2, so it's just a straight up 2400 burn. When I started playing Master Duel as well, I went straight into building an Oddis deck. Phantom was like my main thing. I burnt so many people for games with Phantom. So, guys, probably one of the reasons I like Phantom a bit more than Pendulum is because probably I'm a bit prejudiced towards cards that burn. Because burning your opponent for game is just a little bit more fun. And on the topic of burn... sorry. 2, 3, 10, 9. So yeah, that was number 6. So number 5, like I said, on the topic of burn, and number 5 is Performer Power Extra Slinger. I just like this card because, frankly, the number of times I've chosen to search this card off something like Joker or Sorcerer near the end of a game, when I'm like mid to late game, it's just like, okay, I will wait this out a bit, stack my extra deck up with pendulums, and then when the time is right, activate Slinger effect, burn for game. The number of times I've just burnt someone for game with Slinger was absolutely fun. I think one of the highest burns I've done with it was 2700 when I had 9 pendulums face up in my extra deck. That was just... And frankly, guys, when you burn your opponent for that much, you just really like the card. Number four is another Oddis card. Probably one based on the cards I've got left in my list. This is definitely my favorite Oddis card in the main deck. I've hyped this card so much anytime I've done an Oddis profile. It's Performer Power Oddis Dissolver. This card is absolute. This card has won me so many games, even off his main first effect of special summoning himself first. Because I've just done games where I'm like slightly short of damage, but I've got Dissolver in my. But I know if I search Dissolver, I can be like, okay, I've got this. So I go battle phase, declare an attack with a pendulum into a monster, effective Dissolver to summon itself, and then just smack with everything for game. And then just on the rare occasion that don't have enough. Go to main phase 2, activate Dissolver's effect to do a fusion summon. If I know I can't go for... And then usually I just go straight into the Gatling Gun, which will burn out the last of my opponent's life points. And then on the chance I know I don't have the damage, I'll just go into a Vortex to protect myself on the next turn. Like, Dissolver has just won me so many games, I had to rate him that high up on this list. And that's why I absolutely love this guy. Okay guys, so moving into the top 3. So at number 3 is Endemium, the Mighty Master of Magic. Naturally, he had to be high up on this list because he's currently like my ace monster. I absolutely love this card. His pendulum effect of just completely annihilating an opponent's board is great. It's also an absolutely amazing optimistic mine, which is why I really like him for that. The spell negation is really good. The ability to search a normal spell has come up a couple of times, which has been really clutch. I remember one time I was facing my friend Hisham, aka Spark Tech, with his prank kids. He knew it was a risk to keep my Mighty Master on board, but he's like, I'm going to smack over it. He's going to smack over it anyway just to give me less resources to have. And then I used its effect. I wasn't sure what to search, so I knew I was still against a Battle Butler, so I'm like, I'm going to search an instant fusion, just so I can summon the Millenniumized just so I can have the Millenniumized Restraint to prepare myself for what. So I was prepared for when Battle Butler was going to attempt something, and then compliments of that surge, I was able to bait out the Battle Butler, absorb it with the Millennium Eyes, and then smack the game. So yeah, I've done so many great things with Endemium. Still my favorite deck right now, and I hope it's still going to do great for me in the future. Okay, so at number 2 is another goodie but oldie from back from my Oddis days. This is my favorite Oddis monster in the game, simply because of one specific event that happened at my locals with it. Richie, I think you know which Oddis monster I'm talking about and what event I'm talking about. It's Odas Rebellion Dragon. So this card, I've done I didn't do huge amounts with it back in the day when I was playing it, but there's one specific thing I've done with it in the past that just stands out as a moment that made me absolutely love this card. So this was back during Clash of Rebellion format when it just came out. As I mentioned earlier, me and my group at local sometimes do battle royales where it's everyone against everyone. There's one specific battle royale shortly after Clash of Rebellion, so we had several players going. I'm like, cool, set up my board. I dropped Oddis Rebellion Dragon, and because of how the wording of it is, in a battle royale situation, you destroy as many monsters as possible, then everyone takes then all the opponents take the combined burn. So I got to smack everyone for so everyone got smacked for 5k on summon when I summoned it, and then I tried to use it to triple attack, but my friend Kane dropped a Ferret Flames on me, so I had to shuffle it back into my deck, and I'm like, oh. But it wasn't so bad because it was still in my deck, and I still had another Dragon Xyz monster in my extra deck that I could use for the Zhang Ke Zhang Shen combo. So what I did the following turn was summoned out another Oddis, summoned out another 2 level 4s, made Dark Rebellion, did the Zhang Ke Zhang Shen again, and then guys, I just proceeded to summon Oddis Rebellion twice in a row against them, and then I proceeded to wipe out 4 people off the effect of my Rebellion Dragon. Though my friend Kane decided to was able to survive because in response to his effect, he did side effects against everyone. So for those who don't know what side effects does is, it makes the opponent forces your opponent to draw between 1 to 3 cards. For each card that they draw, the player of side effects gains 2,000 life points. So since everyone was about to die, since everyone in the position was like they were going to die anyway, they just decided to go for the life point gain to give Kane a chance to beat me. They all died. I decided to just take the 3 cards anyway because I knew, okay, this isn't going to wipe Kane out anyway, so I'll just take the 3 cards. Wiped everyone else out, proceeded to smack Kane for 9k, and so that was really great to do. Though it came to an end on the following turn when because Kane, who was playing a version of normal pendulums, hit me with a Wavering Eyes, destroying 4 pendulums, so he bumped me for 500, searched a new pendulum, banished my dragon, and then he searched another Wavering Eyes. But hey, I got to do this twice in one duel. You kind of have to give some respect for a card after you do that. Okay guys, so that is the top 9 pendulums so far. Before I get into my number 1 choice, I just want to give a couple of quick honourable mentions of pendulums that I like. One of which is Performer Power Oddis Synchron. I've checked around all my stuff. Apparently I don't actually own one, so I can't show it right now. But one of the reasons I just like this card, not so much for what it does, I just really like him for his name. To me, he's not really a name. He's just 3 archetypes in one. Performer Power, Oddis, Synchron. I also did a check on this card before doing this video, guys. Do you guys have any idea how many cards can directly search Oddis Synchron? Let's give you a couple seconds to think about it and come up with ideas. The answer, guys, 52. There are 52 ways to directly search this card because its name is so generic goes into so many archetypes that are easy to search. It's just absolutely insane, which is pretty fun. Another honourable mention, a card I do actually own, Supreme King Zark. Just being able to, like, a couple of times I've been able to Zark an opponent, and that's just fun in itself. Summon Zark, nuke your opponent's board, smack for 4k. Just great. And if it dies, it's got its skill drain effect on extra monsters, which is also great. Or at least it usually is great, unless your opponent is Dark Patrician 84 and he decides to summon Utopia the Lightning, smacking over Zark for 1k, and because of Lightning's ability, it overrides Zark's ability to put himself in the extra deck, so then he's just stuck there for the remainder of the game. Yeah, thanks for that, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have done the same thing, but I worked hard to summon Zark. Was that so hard? And another honourable mention I have to give to is Anubis Mythical Beast of Endemium. But I can't really put this card on the list because it's a custom that I made myself, so that's just a bit extremely prejudiced. But I had a lot of But I frankly just had a lot of fun designing. Him. I did make him a little bit overpowered in what he did. If anybody wants a detail of what I made him do, just leave a comment below and I will post it. I'm not gonna speak it out because I literally put so much into this card and I'd only really like to go through it once. But if anyone wants to know what I did to it, just ask. Okay, so on to my number 1 pendulum. If you guys haven't guessed what it is yet, you probably just need to take a look at my YouTube banner because it's listed on there, and I've gone through the other pendulums that were in my banner. Yes guys, my number 1 pendulum monster is Nirvana High Paladin. So the reason this card is number 1 is when the Dark Illusion set came out. This was back when we had like sneak peek tournaments where you actually had to play rounds to win a playmat. When I entered the tournament, I went completely undefeated. I went like, I think it was 4-5-0, went undefeated, and I came first place and took the playmat. I also pulled a Cosmic Cyclone during that tournament, which at the time was really good. It was probably like the best pull somebody got at that tournament. So that was really good. And one of the other... And once Nirvana came out, like, I decided to recenter my build around summoning this. We also had the addition at the time of the Fellground structure deck, so I was able to use like Return of the Dragon Lords to recover back the Dragon Synchro, Pendulum Summon to level 3, and then make this. And probably one of the main reasons it's my number 1 is one of the things I remember I've done with this, which was turbo out 3 of them in one turn. Which seems a bit excessive, but I just had the ability to do it, so I figured why not. For those wondering how I did it, so I had Return of the Dragon Lords in my hand, 3 level 3 Pendulum monsters that I could Pendulum Summon. Pendulum Summoned all 3, activated Return of the Dragon Lords to summon back Oddis Meteor Burst Dragon, synchroed into Nirvana High Paladin, activate the effect, get back Return of the Dragon Lords, activate it again, bring back Meteor Burst, synchro again, rinse and repeat. Did that 3 times and then just ended on a board of 3 Nirvana High Paladin and Oddis Meteor Burst Dragon, which was absolutely insane. So I was able to smack over 3 monsters, halve my opponent's life points 3 times, and then just smack them for game. I think, frankly, after doing that, you just have a serious love for the card. But again, guys, my main love for this card is because of what I did in that game of turboing 3 of them out, and also just the memories that I've got of the Dark Illusion Sneak Peek event where I went undefeated and came first place, and the playmat, which I still have as well. Okay guys, so that was my top 10 Pendulum monsters. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below of what some of your guys' favourite Pendulum monsters are as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.